The time is now. Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to NUFC Talk TV with myself, the Geordie Yam Yam, and we've also got the mighty win. We're going to have a look at the Bradford City team for tomorrow's clash at the Carabao Cup. But obviously, before we get into all that, let's do the housework and then we'll crack on. Again, welcome to everybody watching across all the platforms. Thanks to everybody that works in the background. Don't forget to smash that like button. It's very important for the channel to get us further to other supporters. Subscribe, it's totally free. Hit the bell for future content. If you want to support us, you can become a member, different levels. Choose whichever one suits yourself. Now, if you've got a question for me or Win, then throw a Q in front of that question. It ain't guaranteed though, so if you want to guarantee it, then throw us a Talk TV super chat using the $, and that will get that message read out. Anybody that becomes a member or any of our lovely members that gift memberships out there will be highlighted and thanked as we go on. Don't forget, if you want to, you can still jump on board with the Prediction League. It's a £5 entry fee. All the information is in the channel. It's just predicting all of the Newcastle scores as we go on. Even though there's 5 games gone in the Premier League and another game in the Champions League, which is what we're all predicting, there's very little between the top and bottom. So you've still got a massive chance of catching up with that £5. And like I say, the top 6 get prizes, top 4 cash, 5th and 6th get a prize. More to the value of your entry fee. So, matey, you obviously missed very little this morning.
Well, I was in the waiting room. I was listening to it, watching and listening. And as usual, who was in charge of the IT at
it's shocking,
Newcastle?
Mate, isn't it? It really is shocking. Yeah, it is. And it's disappointing.
Time again. It's not. It cannot be rocket science. If nuggets like us can do this, how can...
That's the thing, isn't it? Because like I say, poor Chris, bless him. I mean, he's up at 3:30, jumping on board. We're all here, more or less an hour beforehand. And I was searching high and low to try and find it. And again, you look at the Chronicle make you feel as though you're missing it because they stated that he's talking to the press at 9 and we'll get, we'll make it public at 9:30. So I'm thinking, well, is this another one that's gone behind the scenes and it's going to be broadcast at a later time? So I was getting a little bit, annoyed, if you like. And then all of a sudden, Chris jumps on board. He gets everything sorted, as he does, really good when it comes to computers. And then it just dies. You're halfway through it, you're listening, and I'm setting up for this show while I'm listening to that. And all of a sudden, the next thing you know, it's gone. And it seemed as if somebody hit the wrong button, if I'm honest with you, on their end.
Somebody's done something wrong, but, it's just week after week after week that things are going wrong there. I don't know.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I'm just having a quick look at seeing who's in the chat, just to say hello. Geo284, Steve's in there. Toon Kind of Phrase. Pot Mags is in. Kev Hawthorne's in. Welcome on board, everybody. I know it's a difficult one. There's so many variants to our shows now at the minute because the amount of games going on. So like I say, this is going to be more or less a blast regarding Bradford City because I would imagine myself and Win won't have that much of an idea of Bradford City.
Fair.
Now, I've done a little bit of a deep dive into Graham Alexander's team, and he seems to be doing very, very well in League One.
They're certainly doing one thing that we are not doing.
And that seems to be scoring goals.
And that's scoring goals. Threes.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's have a quick snapshot before we get a bit of a deep dive into Bradford City. League position 1 after 9 games. Record of 6 wins, 2 draws and a loss. They've scored 17, but they have also conceded 11. Obviously, we know the coach is Graham Alexander, who Eddie Howe made a nice little gesture towards this morning in the presser, saying how well the lad's done. Recent highlight was a very good and a commanding win, a 3-1 win over Cardiff City away from home. ending Cardiff's unbeaten run. Bradford are riding a wave of momentum after a dramatic promotion last season. Alexander's side is compact, aggressive, and tactically disciplined. A classic giant-killing ingredient. So, I mentioned this morning that this could potentially, on our current form, be a banana skin. So, I mean, listen, let's not bull this up. We should have enough quality in this side to go ahead and win Bradford City. Now, as much as, these are running high, confidence in Newcastle is going to be low. There's no doubt about that. I mean, you saw some of the players in midweek last week against Barca coming off the field, have played grafted, left a lot on the field. So it was, I suppose, evident that there was going to be changes at Bournemouth. I have no issues with going 3 at the back, if I'm honest with you, because that shouldn't affect majorly what the outcome is at the other end. The biggest problem for Newcastle, regardless of what formation Eddie's played this season, is the lack of goal scorers within the side. And as much as we're all reliant on Voltemada to be the man, unless he's getting the service, which again, Eddie Howe has come out and said, it doesn't matter who you play. If we've not got the service into the middle, then we're going to find it difficult to score. Is this going to be a bit of a test for us to keep it clear and clean, as in defensively, before, obviously, with the pressure on that we can't score?
Well, isn't it going to be interesting? We've kept 4 clean sheets out of 5 in the Prem. The only teams that have scored against us are Barcelona and Liverpool, arguably 2 of the best sides on the planet.
Yeah.
And if we're going to put the reserves in, as it were, the squad players in, can they keep out the mighty Bradford City, who look to be, very, very capable?
Yeah, I mean, according to what I've seen, like I say, I've seen very little of Bradford this season. I watched them a couple of times last season when they were in League Two. And again, they come with enough, I suppose, enough firepower to cope in that league. But are they going to have the same type of coping strategy and mechanism, even though they're at home, to keep out Newcastle? And again, I've put out a side that potentially I believe could work.
Spoiler alert, we are at home.
I thought we were at Bradford.
Well, I've got a ticket for tomorrow night, so...
Oh, Christ. Have I gone the other way around? I thought it was Bradford. I thought we were... You know what? I thought we were... I honest to God, thought we were at Bradford. Well, there you go. I don't know where I've picked that up. Well, there you go. Spoiler alert, it is. So we should win. There should be no issues about it.
That's what was when I saw you, because I was too busy doing the text to get your background. No, and when I saw it, I thought, this is strange.
yeah, exactly. I'd got it in my mind, mate, that we were away. And apologies for everybody out there, because that's thrown my setup completely
We've got the USA setup where the home teams are away there.
Away, yeah, exactly.
It's Bradford City at
St James's Park. Yeah, there you go. Well, like I say, that screwed me over big style. That's what I said. This is how we run. Your everyday job still has to continue, as well as trying to fit in everything else. And like I said, it was a complete oversight on my behalf. So apologies, I have screwed up a little bit there. So anyway, let's have a quick look at how Bradford have set up against Cardiff City. And this is their pass map. It's a strange formation, if you like, because they go, when they play away, they go to this like a 5 or 3-4-3 system. They can drop. It's very similar to how Newcastle have been over the last couple of weeks. They play with this 5 or 2 wing backs that float between midfield and drop back. But you'll see from this little scene here. What I mean, very high. This is against, like I say, Cardiff at the Bluebirds, and what they tend to do is this is their wing back. And Sarasic, and this is the other wing back that drop in, and you've got your three defenders, and obviously Power drops into that little deep six, and then you've got Lee. I'll just ride into the midfield and mop up any balls. But the one thing that I got between these two is the fact that they are obviously very dominant down this left-hand side to try and get partnerships, these triangles that we've seen. So again, they very much like this 3-4-2-1, if you like, system. And a couple of their main bodies were rested against Cardiff, obviously in readiness for Newcastle. And there's a couple of players.
Who's the 20? Billy No Mates?
This one here. Yeah. Yeah, this is Mr. Lee. He's exactly. This is what I said. They seem to dominate this left-hand side, and everybody seems to push over to that side. And again, if you look at the little shapes that you can see, the triangles, very much like Newcastle when they play through at the back, they all split to cover the wingers. Now, for me, if Bradford come playing this type of style and system, I think again it's about pace that can beat them quite easily. Couple of players.
If you look at Volta-Morta's, well, not that Volta-Morta's going to be playing, to be fair, but Sula even.
Yeah.
You were saying, your criticism of Asula is that he runs, he stays within that very area where they appear to not have any players.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what makes me look. When I looked at their positioning for Cardiff, I'm very much thinking, are they going to come to Newcastle as a low block? Well, yes, they are. They all, teams often come to Newcastle as the low block, but as you can see from this, they're quite happy to get going up the field when they've got the ball. Like I say, especially when they try and highlight areas like the left-hand side. So it's going to be our right back. And again, have we got the type of players which we have? Again, even the lads that have been rested coming back on the field of play. Have we got enough within this squad to actually go ahead and beat them? I think if we can't beat Bradford City at home, again that's my mock-up. We have got an issue deeper than Eddie Howe. It's something deep-rooted in the squad at this present moment in time. The effect of Alexander Isak leaving Newcastle has left us in the mire somewhat, and it's like I say, it's more deep-rooted than ability, because it's got to be a psychological thing. We've seen previously that Newcastle, without having a central striker, have struggled to score goals. It seems even last season when we've had Isak, and the season before, reaching that golden number of 20 goals a season, everybody around him hasn't got into double figures. We haven't had a second player reach double figures, as in goals, for some time now, during Eddie's tenure. So for me, it's very much a case of, have we got enough players within the squad to actually go ahead and create? Now, keeping on board what I've just showed you there, I'm going to put up, again, I have put down where their main positions are with the players that played against Cardiff. So what I've done now is put down my team, looking at all of the players that have been rested, that I think should be involved. Okay, so I've gone with Ramsdale in goal, Botman and Chow in defence. Now I know they played the weekend, but again, I do think there's a partnership that needs building there. We know Shaw isn't going to be available. Now I've put Kraft in, and the reasons why I've put Kraft in is because at some point he's going to need game time. If he's going to be part of the rotating squad, it's no good just having him on the bench, because when we do rely on him, or when we will need to rely on him, I think you will have a player that is fit and ready to go, but won't be mentally fit and ready to go. He won't be match sharp. And I think this is, again, an ideal situation to bring Kraft in where it shouldn't be too much of a problem. What that does then is it frees up Louis Saul to play his natural left-back position with Tino on the bench who can cover either slot. What I said to Chris this morning, the biggest problem for me with Tino is when he's introducing Louis Saul into the side, we ask Tino to jump back over to right-back position, and it takes him a good 10 to 15 minutes then to get that right mindset in to change in his what his game is, because we've seen with Eddie, he likes the left-hand side to push on, the right-hand side he likes to keep tucking in and keeping the shape of the team that way. So I think he's asking sometimes a lot from Tino to get involved. And I've gone with Miley again in midfield, Bruno and Joe Linton, because again, I don't think Miley had a bad game against Bournemouth, to be fair. And I think, with it being his 50th appearance, when you look at, or for me, it's either going to be Miley or we're going to see Willock play in this the 10 slot, because Willock didn't have a great game. So will Eddie go with the fact that he'll drop Miley out? He'll play with 2 6s with Bruno and J7. And you'll get, bear with me a second and while I find him. Where are you, Mr. Pillock? There you go.
He's gone from Willakino to Pillock.
Yeah, absolutely. So will he play this type of system? And again, it's not a bad system. And, if you're looking at players to come into a side to gain confidence, this is the game. And I've gone with Gordon on the left-hand side, Elanga on the right. Again, looking at their weakness, where these seem to dominate, which is down that left-hand side, with the pace of Elanga, it'll change their mindset and it'll keep them pegged in. And as you can see from what I've graphed out here, this is their main passing routes that I showed you before on the previous screen. I've left the team as it was in their colours on the screen, so you can see where our players could potentially dominate if Bradford decide to come and have a go at us. I think there's so much room for the likes of Vasula, for the likes of Elanga and Anthony Gordon to really dominate this team.
Stephen Dom Dewsbury said, I don't think this is live. Is it a replay from yesterday? Maybe no, I can assure you this is live.
Yeah, I think he'll rest J7 again, says Pete Griffin. Eddie said that being really careful with him because of injuries, reckon it'll be Miley and Willock in midfield again. Well, like I said, for me, if Eddie's got that type of if Eddie's got that scope of injuries, you shouldn't even have him on the bench. You know what I mean? If he's trying to protect players, the idea is he's not even give them an option. They should be looking elsewhere. Now, I know we've got a lot of injuries and everything else, but if Joe Linton has come through training unscathed, he's been past medically fit. If he doesn't get included in this game, again, it's about dominating this midfield, and it should be quite comfortably dominated, if I'm honest with you. I think there's a deeper line issue with this knee, and it's certainly something that needs to be addressed in January regarding getting the replacement in sooner rather than later. Because, like I say, we're looking at. Two Nuts saying it doesn't help if you replay the old streams and upload them as live. I don't know.
I haven't got a clue what's going on here.
No, normally. I have no ideas what's happening there because
it is now 12:32.
22.
12:22.
Yeah.
And we are live as we speak.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we've only got 26 likes, so hit the likes, folks. Hit the likes.
Well, I'm one of them. So we've only got a couple more to get before we reach those big heady heights. for me, this, like I say, this has got a massive chance for players to come in. I mean, what's your thoughts personally on what has been said? We have got to try and beat.
Listen, it doesn't matter which 11 were put out. If we can't beat, and you'll not often hear me say this, if we can't beat Bradford City, then, as you said at the start, we have got major, major issues.
Yeah.
And Isaac Gouen has caused a lot more turmoil than we anticipated.
Yeah.
So, and I would go as far as to say a lot more turmoil than we should expect to happen.
Yeah.
Okay, we've been, badly hampered by Wissa not being available, and the start of the season when we didn't have a striker, full stop. But if Asula is going to be any sort of player at all, he's got to come in here and do the business.
Yeah.
If he do, and he should have ample support, even without for a start, we've got to learn to play without Tonali, because Tonali he probably could because he's a machine, but you cannot expect Tonali to be at his best for 60 games a season.
No,
and that's what we're hoping to achieve if we go reasonably far in all the other competitions.
Yeah, so, I agree. I mean, you look at previous.
If you look, there's myriad permutations you could have for the team, but whichever back four you put in out of what's available, they should be able to keep Bradford City at bay.
Yeah.
The midfield, if we are finding out, if let's say he goes with what you've gone with there, if Willock and Miley cannot control that midfield, then again, they're not the players that we think they are, and they're certainly not the players who are going to help us move forward as a team.
No.
Likewise, Elanga and Gordon, they should have a field day against them.
Absolutely, and I think that is it. You see, I mean, when you look at the quality that's still in this side with the rotation and everything else, for me, there is far too much quality on this side at home, as you've corrected me, to have any concerns of what Bradford bring. You know what I mean? Why concentrate on them when, like I say, I look at this squad now and I'm thinking, why are we even questioning, is this a banana skin? And the only doubt you have now is the amount of games gone that we've not really hit the scores. We've not hit the onion sack. Apart from scoring against Wolves and Liverpool, as daft it looks, and obviously Barca, are the lads picking themselves up for the big games, and unfortunately expecting to win just by turning up for the smaller games.
Connor's asking, do you think the players don't like and don't want to play these new defensive tactics?
It's got nothing to do with that. The question is when you set up a tactic, it's for two reasons. It's one, to break down any potential attack from the opposition, and the other tactic part of it is, what do you do when we've got the ball, in that offensive third? And as Eddie Howe has come out and said, and it's public knowledge, this, Eddie Howe has said, we aren't creating enough in the middle of the park. And for whatever reason that is, it's not transitioning from the training ground to the playing field. And like you said, unless you've got quality into the middle, service-wise, you're never going to create the chances to score the goals. And again, we've gone game after game, and when you're only just scraping a win against Wolves, who are absolutely all over the place at the moment, it proves that this is more of a deep-rooted system. Again, is it a fact that we're not asking lads to give 100% in games, because as we all know, with Wissa injured, we've only really got one striker. So are we saying to Walter Marder, I don't want you to go, go silly, go gung ho, relax a little bit. I don't want you running all the way back box to box constantly because of that problems. We'll never know what's being spoken when it comes to information that Eddie Howe is giving each player in his respected role. So, go on, mate.
We've got a plea here from James Cuff, one of our prediction. He says just entered the ballot for Benfica. His record so far is none for 14.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Can people cross their fingers for me? Consider them crossed.
Everything's crossed for you, buddy. I hope you get it. DX is saying Mighty Wins dusting off one of his jumpers from Autumn 73 collection.
This was 1992 collection, I believe.
Oh, excellent. So let's have a quick
look. It doesn't
look.
get many outings. I don't often wear a sweater, but it was a bit chilly when I went out this morning.
Well, there you go. What we've got is a couple of players that I've listed here. Bobby Poynton. These are players to watch out for. He's an attacking midfielder. Seems to be, like I say, very respected when it comes to that creative spark, links midfield to attack. Newcastle must cut off the supply to keep him, out the game, if you like. The other player to keep an eye on is Andy Cook, who's their striker. He was rested against Cardiff. Don't think he was injured. Physical aerial threat, thrives on crosses and set pieces. So again, he another player that we need to be mindful of. The other player that I've had a look at and seems a decent player is Alex Gilead. Again, another player that was rested against Cardiff. Engine of the team, presses relentlessly and recycles possession wisely. And then obviously we've got the centre-back, which was Ash Taylor. Seems to be the one that organises the back line. He's dangerous on attacking corners. Very good aerial. And like I say, he does try and get into positions just off that back stick, coming into the central part of goal. So there's just 4 players that I have noted, having watched just highlights of the team. And like I say, he seems very quite happy in the way they set up. Poynton's form has been so impressive. There's already talk of January interest from high-tier clubs. So that just proves the type of player that Poynton is. He's very, he's a robust midfielder. Like I say, he'll link up play on that left-hand side mainly. I mean, I've got him tracked here because that was where he was more involved in the Cardiff game with Wright just on the outside of him. The tactical setup and formation for Bradford. Well, again, this varies. Bradford typically line up as a 4-2-3-1 at home, but Alexander has shown flexibility depending on the opponent. So their defensive shape, they drop into a 4-4-2 when out of possession. Sometimes, like I say, the 5-4-1 when out of possession. Compact and hard to break down.
5-4-1. Where have we seen that before?
Well, that's what I said. It's very similar to what we've seen with Newcastle over recent weeks. The midfield pivot, you got Gilead and Smallwood anchor the midfield, allowing Poynton to roam. So again, he plays into this, this half spaces where it's very difficult for players to pick up. The wing play, they often overload wide areas with overlapping fullbacks and inverted wingers. And set pieces, a major weapon. Cook and Taylor are aerial threats. Again, this is limited.
On the subject of set pieces, Gary, how do you think our new lauded set piece coach is doing with Newcastle at the minute?
Well, I've not seen much, mate, if I'm honest with you.
I'm the same. I was expecting a lot more from him. This is Martin Mark, who we got from Copenhagen. and renowned set piece coach, and the whole club was based on set pieces. There was a great article came out, which led me to hope for great things about the club and how they absolutely concentrate on both defending set pieces and using set pieces as their major attacking threat. Something like 75% of their goals come from set pieces, and it's the ethos that runs right throughout the club. They have banners up all over the club about set pieces and positioning and options and different things. So I was expecting a great deal from him, but to be fair, I ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah,
And
it wasn't Copenhagen, was it? It was that Midtjylland, whatever it is, that he came from
Denmark, anyway.
Denmark, yeah, somewhere else. Yeah,
FC Midtjylland. I think they're based in Copenhagen, aren't they?
I think they are actually. Yeah, I think they are. But again, I'm going to ask you: is the fact that we haven't got any good passers of the ball, is this half the issue? You've seen, how many players.
Do you really think that we've got no good passers of the ball?
Well, let me. I'm going to put it to you now, right? This is what I've seen so far, right? The one, if you look at it over the last maybe 2 seasons now, the drop off in Kieran Trippier's delivery hasn't been fantastic. He probably gets a small percentage right, but when you see as we saw the other day, when Trippier's doing it, Trippier's looking more for that driven ball towards the likes of Byrne, who's attacking that 6-yard box for the 6-yard to 12-yard area just outside the back post. It's more Kieran Trippier if we're delivering balls like that. We've seen Elanga now come on board against Bournemouth, who seems to predominantly look like he's aiming directly for the near post. And again, you have to be absolutely spot on when it comes to delivery at the near post. Again, doesn't seem to cause any issues whatsoever. We've seen Lewis Hall take them. We've seen who else has taken them? Tonali. Now, the biggest problem for me is when you look at Tonali going out there and taking them, who has got the quality that just sits outside the box, as we see Tonali do now? And I think that is what we've seen more to the point of Tonali not taking set pieces, is because it actually relinquishes him from that shot potential from outside the box. And again, you've got to start putting players into the right positions for that second ball. And to me, we look at the technical side of it, and Trippier has been, for a very long time, our main stalwart when it comes to set piece play. And he doesn't seem to be the one who wants to do it anymore. Now, is that the fact that you're asking a player that plays right back to often, especially when it comes to in-swingers, run diagonally across the park 70, 80 yards every time there's a corner? You know what I mean? Are they trying to manage his movement on the field of play? Is this more of a coaching saying to him, listen, I don't want you doing that? Or is the expectation Trippier won't be here forever, will he? So there's got to be other players that can start delivering these balls.
Well, DX is saying it's confusing because Trippier's technical ability shouldn't have diminished. It should be the physical side, but it appears to be the opposite.
Well, I'm going to question.
I mean, how long is it since we saw Trippier put it over the wall, as his song goes?
Yeah.
It's a long, long time now.
The problem is, you see, is when you're everything that you do as a footballer is based on confidence. And I keep saying this, and the biggest one for me is Harvey Barnes. Harvey Barnes beats his fullback. He'll seem to beat him time after time. If he loses the ball on the first opportunity, he hides. He goes. is, again, it's the same with set piece delivery. If you get it right and you get something from it, it seems as though you want to take it more and more. And as DX has quite rightly said, the biggest problem for Trips is the fact that he's not really the one now pushing to ask for the ball. It's as if like he's given ownership of some of the set plays away, especially in the deep free kicks now. It's Tonali, that seems to take more of the deeper free kicks, unless it's in our own half, and then it will be just launched forward anyway. So there does seem to be a massive shift when it comes to set piece plays and who takes them, what style there is, and again, doesn't become very difficult to see as an opposition coach who's going to take it and where the ball's going to go to. If that's, as I've just said to you, if Elanga takes it, it's near post. If Trippier takes it, it's back post. Do you know what I mean? So
Well,
it's
the other thing for me is we still see so many times 3 or 4 players. We get a free kick in a promising position. There's 3 or 4 players. Surely they should know who. Now, okay, you can argue they can do it to confuse the defense in some cases, but all you're doing there is when you put the ball in, you've got 1 or 2 more players who are not there for the second ball because they're fanning around pretending to take the free kick or deciding who's going to take the free kick. Doesn't make any sense to me. They should know who's going to do it, and everybody should be in that position.
Should be involved, exactly.
Especially if we've got this wonderful set-piece coach doing his business.
Yeah, but I mean, literally.
Which Foxy has just pointed out, by the way, Midlanders tour was from Copenhagen.
There you go.
So the mighty winds cocked that up again.
Would Murphy be worth a go? Would Murphy be worth a go at set pieces? That's what I was going to say. He seems to be the one at the minute that's throwing a lot of the balls into the box of some quality during play. Whether you can stroke a ball that's obviously not in rotation is totally different technique, because what you're looking for is whip, and it is so much different to a ball that's traveling the circumference in motion.
Well, Gavin Fuller's putting a point in there. Elanga's better than Trips at set pieces he used to do for Forest. Well, the one thing you noticed when it was against Barcelona, wasn't it? Yeah, I think it was. Elanga took 2 corners from the left wing, and they were superb.
Mm.
And then the next one, Trips ran over to take it, and there seemed to be a bit of a contre-tron between them. As to, and Elanga looked quite miffed that Trips had decided to take it and hit the first man.
Well,
and again, you're thinking, this is concentration, and what's on his mind at the minute he's hitting the ball. Is it that little conflab that he's just had, or is it not good? Not good.
No, not good
Needs
at all.
sorting.
Just before we get on then, guys, everybody that's watching at the minute, throw us in who you believe your 11's going to be for tomorrow night's game at St James's Park. Is it going to be a complete change again, shuffling the pack? Because obviously what we expect from Bradford City is for them to sit deep and counter. That is virtually their hallmark when playing bigger teams. They'll look to frustrate and pounce on any lapse of concentration in the midfield transitions, because again, we know we like to press, and it looks like very much so for me. It will be the same again. It'll be on the press to try and get the ball back as high up the field as we possibly can, and hopefully we can get a reward for it. So that, again, I'm just going to move. Thanks, Shelley, coming on board, sweetheart. Good luck for tomorrow night, says Shelley, who's our Toffee supporter. On Hedio, he's likely to rotate again, but he's treating this fixture very seriously, according to the presser. Gordon is back from suspension, and rested players like Bruno, Joe Linton and Trippier could return. The key will be controlling the tempo and avoiding complacency, which is what I said before. Lads seem to be very up for games with a name, but they don't seem to be travelling very well against teams with a lesser name, and that is worrying for me because that could mean a massive change in the end position when it comes to 36 games at the end of the season.
Whoa. I'm sorry, Gary. I'm just quickly going through all the comments and that.
That's all right, mate.
And Harpal saying we are going to make a meal out of this game. I can feel it. We're either going to scrape through or it'll be a loss. No in betweens.
Oh, okay.
So he's not putting an easy win in his calculation.
No.
Trolls is saying the problem is not Elanga, it's our new dead ball expert. He tell players how to do it and nothing has changed. Yeah, well, that's the set piece coach, as we've just been saying. He's got a lot to prove to me still, because he's been here 7 games now, 8 games now. He was there before the Athletic game. Okay, he wouldn't have worked with him, but he's had ample opportunity now.
Yeah.
To work with them, and that doesn't seem to be any fruits of his endeavours. Willock, why the hell is Willock in there? He's awful. But, is he going to give him a chance to come good against Minnows?
That's it, isn't it? You have got to start looking at the way these guys play and have played this season, and they have been very bang average. So for me, this is a perfect opportunity for them to actually come good against lesser opposition, because if you can't shine against a team like Bradford, listen, they're flying high, we know that. And we know that there is a potential banana skin if we ate on our game here. But there is not a player that I can see in this team. I'd even go, as daft as it looks, and go and have a look at the likes of Sung Park or Park Sung, whatever his name is, Park Soo, and have a look at him and have a look at maybe getting another young lad in, Sean Neves perhaps, you know what I mean, to support on the bench. If they really want to go and protect, then these are the teams that you've got to start being a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Favourable towards the youngsters, rather than, they're not ready yet. Because unless he shows them and unless he gives them game time with quality players around them, they're never going to shine. They're never going to be able to shine. And that's what I said, if they're shining at their age level, which a few of them are, Eddie's got to start having the confidence in bringing them into the squad and then being able to completely take some of our main players away and saying, you know what, I'm going to give you a complete night off here. And that's what I said. If everybody's got an issue with J7, that he thinks that J7 is going to be rested for this game because Arsenal, the weekend, is the bigger game, then there's a problem. There's a problem not only with J7, there's a problem with Eddie Howe not having the commitment or the courage to take J7 out the squad.
Well, here's the thing, Graham Nicholas saying, I'd like to see the Korean player, Soo Sung, we signed, used at least as a sub tomorrow, and so would I.
Yeah, but
you've got a number of teams now. Arsenal have got this Dowman coming through. Liverpool's young and scored against us, of course, getting the winner.
Yeah.
And to me, the problem is Gordon needs minutes as well. Having sat out,
absolutely,
his suspension, Gordon needs minutes, and with the best will in the world, he is more important than Newcastle right at this moment than Soo Sung is.
Yeah.
However, I do think that there's, is there a way you can get them both in?
Well,
can we trust two? If we play Bruno and J7, for example, could we then risk going 4-2-4?
Yeah.
Which would allow then Soo Sung, but it would be at the expense of Willock, obviously.
Well, so
and I just say, could put in any position, could Soo Sung do a worse job than Willock is currently giving us.
Absolutely.
And,
Well,
and it's given him minutes, it's given him experience, it's given him maybe a bit confidence if we're, perform well.
Yeah.
So I would love to see Sue Sung in. I think Ramsdale is an absolute certainty, or he should be. Chow and Botman, I think, will Lascelles get a run out? That's another possibility.
Yeah, well, don't forget Chow can come over. Again, you don't have to play Botman. If you're talking about risking knees.
No, but if we're talking about risking Botman after a couple of games, I think put him in and let's see how durable he is.
Well, these two have got to build a relationship up with. That's something for me.
Yeah.
And we need dominance in the air, and that's what makes me think. As we know, these guys, Bradford, are going to be, notorious in the air, set pieces, corners, anything like that. We've got to have players of ability, on the ball. And I like what I saw of Chow against Bournemouth. Yeah, I mean, people will say he should have had a red card. I think that would have been harsh if he'd have got red carded. I mean,
well, I've got to say I don't.
You don't think it would have been harsh?
No, I think it was definitely a yellow card, and he already had a yellow card. So
yeah, well, I don't know.
It was red to me. I think they got lucky there.
They certainly got lucky with the bloody penalty.
We got lucky there. They got very lucky with a penalty, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But as I said on the Bournemouth channel last night, which would you rather have? A penalty in the 50th minute, or a player sent off playing 10 men for the last 10 minutes?
Yeah,
and I know which one I would have taken.
Absolutely.
And I would have taken them both.
Well, that's what I said. I mean, it's about giving the referee an option, isn't it? That's what I'm saying. I just thought it would have been harsh, if I'm honest with you.
And on the subject of referees, the one worry, isn't it, when you play these lower league teams, is that they're going to kick you off the park.
Yeah.
And so you want a referee who's going to not allow that to happen.
Yeah, he's Mr. Kirk, isn't it?
And the referee we've got is Thomas Kirk.
Yeah.
Who has never refereed a Premier League side.
Yeah.
He's had 3 championship games this season, 1 in League One and 1 in the League Cup. But what I do quite like seeing is the fact that in his 5 games, he's issued 26 yellow cards.
Yeah.
So he looks to be the sort of ref who doesn't allow things. I've got no personal knowledge of it all, so I'm going purely from the stats.
Yeah.
But he looks as though he can't wait to get his card out. So that would tend to negate any dubious tactics, shall we say, employed by Bradford in terms of trying to kick their way through to the next round.
But we've also got to be aware of J7, because like I said, we all know at J7 a lot of the time he's not dirty, he's just clumsy.
Reputation.
Yeah, exactly. He's just clumsy at times. He looks, because he's so gangly, it looks a lot worse than it actually is. I did put it up before. I can't remember who put it up.
Let's have a quick look at some of these chats.
Kenny was saying about Sue Park being dropped by the 21s because he's been poor. He didn't say that, but I'm going to say that. No, that is absolutely true. But the biggest problem for me, and the biggest thing of concern, is how quickly he was dropped from having a very good pre-season with the first team, and then training with the first team, being involved in a lot of involvements around the training area with the first team, and then literally being dropped like a brick in the pond. And unfortunately, that, especially coming, to a new club, that will have a massive mental effect on any player. Never mind an overseas player. You're not going to expect him to hit the ground running while he's transitioning from Korea to the northeast of England. So there is going to be a drop off in performance. I agree with that. But it's about time. It's about, like I say, allowing him to develop as a player. You can't just close all the doors on some of these players and not expect them to get involved. So I do think there's a lot more to that than just ability. Go on, mate.
Yeah. So we've got afternoon, guys. Win looks cool in his new jumper. I can assure you, it's not a new jumper. It's nearly 30-year-old.
It is turtleneck.
Peter Griffin, I think you'll rest G7 again. Eddie said they are being really careful with him because of injuries. I reckon it'll be Miley and Willock in midfield, which is what we've gone for there, isn't it?
Well, let's put Miley and Willock in, because that was what...
I thought that was what you started with.
Well, it was. I put Miley, Bruno and J7 in. But this...
Yeah, did you not change him for Willock?
No, I put Willock in for Miley.
Oh, right. No. Well, so I think you could be right, Peter Griffin. Terra says, shouldn't we prioritise a centre forward instead of a midfield G7 backup in the winter? Well, if you're talking about big money spends, I don't think we're going to be spending big money in January on a centre forward. For a couple of reasons. One is that all of the top teams in Europe who likely have the best centre forwards will all have played in the Champions League, so they would then be cup tied. So it's pointless buying anybody who can't play for the second half of the season in the Champions League. You can't buy a player who's cup tied. So that rules a lot of the top players who we should be going for, because bear in mind, well, with the exception of Chelsea, who just buy players for fun, by all accounts to no avail after their performance at Old Trafford on Saturday or Sunday, whenever it was. But we should be in the clear, that we shouldn't have any competition from any of the big boys in January. I wouldn't have thought. Foxy's saying, J7's worried me for quite a while now. Maybe looking at upgrading on him in the next window, or two if needed. He's still great to have for certain games like this weekend versus Arsenal. I can't disagree with any of that, Foxy. Connor, we've already done that one. Kind of phrase, if it's 3-0 up, well, let's hope. I'd like to see Ashby and Alex Murphy in. That's the Korean player. Pont Mags. Wynn looks like Roger Moore in the North Sea Hijack film. Pont Mags. I bet the jumper. Oh, that's DX replying, and well, my jumper's become a. If they come to play, you will see the star passes you crave. Well, I hope you're right to coin a phrase. And Foxy, Mittelland is a couple of hours from. I will bow to your superior Danish knowledge, Danish geographical knowledge, Foxy. So that was all of the stars.
You done? You happy?
Yeah, that's it. Meanwhile,
let's
back at
have
the
a
ranch.
let's have a quick look at the last fixtures then of Cardiff City. Win over, Cardiff City, Bradford City. Win over Cardiff City away. Dominant away performance, point and scored and assisted. Huddersfield, 3-1 win. Again, it's what you were saying about, it seems to be all threes for Bradford as we speak. Control midfield, Cook and Humphreys was on target that day. And their only loss this season came
a local derby,
Doncaster, and it was defensive lapses more than anything else. Conceded twice from set pieces, so maybe that is an aerial threat that we can probably try and dominate on. Bradford bounced back impressively after the Doncaster defeat, scoring 6 goals in their next 2 matches and tightening up defensively. And again, when you look at metrics, some of their high player performance highlights, you've got XG with Will Swan. He's got an XG of 3.84. He's first in the league ranking. The total shots is from Stephen Humphreys. He's got 21. Again, first in the league ranking. Expected assists comes from Bobby Poynton at 1.3 a game. He's first in the league. Successful passes is Max Power, the lad who sits deep, is the 6th. He's got 293 successful passes. Again, he's first in League One. And Josh Newfill, he's the one who's got the first on the list for the most tackles within, again. So a lot of players across all of the metrics where they seem to be, like I say, flying really high with confidence. Poynton and Power are the heartbeat of this side. One orchestrates, the other disrupts. Humphreys is a volume shooter, so again he looks at percentages, tries to get as many shots towards goal as he possibly can. And again, law of averages tell you the more you shoot, the more chance you've got of hitting the onion sack. And Newfel, I can never say his name properly. It's either Neufel or Newfel. Defensive work rate is relentless down that right hand side. So again, he's the one that'll drop in, and he'll get when we switch off. He has got an engine very similar to Tonali in the middle. And again, you look at the tactical zones of control. Bradford try and dominate central midfield. It's over 55% of touches in contested games. Left wing, Poynton drifts wide to overload and create space. They're less active on the right channel, which could be a weak spot for Newcastle to exploit with Gordon down that left-hand side. So again, that's why I've put them in their most dominant position on the graph, as you can see in front of you. It just gives you an idea of where their areas of weakness could be. And we know that Eddie Howe loves to bring these partnerships with Lewis Hall on the overlap. And I'm hoping you'll get Anthony Gordon playing more as the inside left, with Willock playing a more central role if Willock plays with Asula in front of him. But again, what I don't want Asula to be doing is going backwards and forwards. I want him to be out on the angles to try and give a little bit of support to the lads both sides of him, if it is Alanga.
Well, I thought what you were saying, Gaz, was that the way they line up would suit the way Asula has been playing.
Well, again, what happens is if these guys drop onto the 18-yard box and they become narrow, because that is like all teams that come to St James's Park, the likes of Wright and the likes of Nuffel will just drop in, and it'll be congested. Power will drop in front, and Savage will probably come into these positions here, and you'll have the likes of Poynton playing in the half space, looking at getting anything from them. So, like all teams, lower leagues, what they'll try and do is make us be complacent when they've got the ball in this mid-centre. Is if they win the ball back, it's just going to be a ball punted into the space for players to run onto. And it's how good we are against the low block. And that's why I'm saying, when you look at the way they set up previously, Poynton drives over to the left-hand side. He'll look to try and create a little bit of work with Wright. Then on the other side, you've got Savage, or Sarcevic, and Newfel playing on this right-hand side. And the other lads literally just make up the numbers with Power sitting in that 6. So for me, it's going to be a real frustrating night a lot of the time, because that's what they do. They try and frustrate you. They'll drop in. They'll make it really compact. And any loose ball that Newcastle do, and we have been so guilty of those loose balls over the last couple of games, it's criminal to think that we can't pass a 10 or 15-yard ball to feet rather than looking to try and play it through an opposition player. So it is very difficult on that one.
I honestly, seriously, I think I'm not worried about it being a difficult game. I think we should take this by the scruff of the neck and, shake them like a rag doll, to be honest. And if we don't, I will be most upset.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's regardless of which 11 we put out.
Yeah.
We've got it. And I tell you, I'm looking for it. It's got to be Ramsdale to start. And I want to see him starting attacks from the back. Never mind all the ticky-tacky. Get that ball up to the front, man. We've got Gordon, hopefully, and Yolanga running on. Let's see what they can do. Because if they can't put Bradford City to the sword, we have got major, major problems.
Yeah, and that is the thing, isn't it? It's a case of, can we nullify what's happening with Bradford, or is it the point that we are, we have got issues a bit deeper within the side when it comes to confidence again.
Yeah, the point I'm making, Gary, though, is you're talking about us nullifying Bradford City. How way, man.
Yeah, but again, like I said, this is where we've got to be careful.
I know you're overconfident. Bobby Robson. We didn't underestimate them; they were just better than we thought they were, and all that. But come on, man. Champions League side against the Division 1 side.
Yeah, I know all that, mate, and that's why I said this is why this has got the potential to be a banana skin. And again, you've got to ask yourself, why are the players dropping off when it's against lesser sides?
Yeah, well,
there's got to be something happening, mate. You know what I mean? It can't just be, one player. You can virtually say to yourself, well, that's just a player having an off day. But when you've got multiple players having off days in and amongst those areas, then you've got to question: is it more mental, the mental approach to each game, and who's getting them going in the tunnel before we start? And again, there was a question that was thrown up against Bournemouth. We had Dan Burn as captain, and I very rarely saw Dan Burn giving anybody a rollicking. If I'm honest with you, so you've got to question: are we in a situation where we aren't producing the right mentality before these games? Sorry.
Well, all I'm saying is let's give them it. Let's give ourselves a shot in the arm as well, a confidence boost. And how we're, man. Bradford City.
Man. Listen, I know what you're saying, and like I say, I understand exactly what you're saying. The biggest thing for me is how do we get to a situation where we are questioning what Newcastle aren't doing.
The very fact that we are questioning, performances against Bradford City shows the degree of concern that is
rife,
rapidly developing now. Never mind slowly developing.
Yeah.
It's reaching our
point.
inability to score goals without Isaac is without doubt a problem. Now, I totally accept that not having Wisser available and, being without any form of striker until the window was shut, except this month.
Yeah.
23 days ago.
Yeah, I know you like your heat map, so there you go. This is Bradford City. The heat map that you can see there is including the players that are in form and where they have been pointed. So again, this is where they try and dominate. This is after the three games, if you like. Will Swan first expected goals, then Humphries and Max Payer, as I've said. But this is the area where they look to be the dominant team. So, like I said to you before, what we need to be He's on our mettle in that midfield. And that's why, for me, when you're looking at players that aren't featuring when it comes to confidence, the Willocks of this, this time, have we got enough muscle when it comes to Miley to be dominant in these areas in the middle of the park? We know Bruno's going to give you something. And that's why I think J7 is going to be a really important part of this game. Because, like I say, if I can devise this, then so can Eddie Howe and his technical bods when they look at all the analysis. So for me, that is the areas where Newcastle need to dominate and win the ball back and disrupt and if they can do that, I think you're right. I think there's enough, well enough to get a result tomorrow night at St James's Park. So,
just to get us nearer the end, we had point marks in. Win looks like Roger Moore in the North Sea hijack. There he goes. So I might very well have a look at that when we go off screen. I might just see what it's like.
It's a good film, the North Sea hijack. It's one I haven't seen for some time, I must admit.
Well, I haven't seen it at all, so.
Oh, there you go.
I'll make a point. I'll make a point of watching it. I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, just.
By the way, did you ever watch that Lessons in Chemistry?
Finished it, mate. I did.
All right, enjoy it.
Very good. Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
It was one of those stories that you're like, oh my God, it's twisting again. It's going. It's going again, and. I was engrossed, and the missus absolutely thoroughly watched it, thoroughly loved it as well.
Excellent.
Really, really interesting short mini series. Well, 8 episodes altogether. Yeah, it's fabulous. So just finishing on a quickie. This is because, like I say, we didn't get a lot from Eddie Howe this morning when we were doing the live presser because it went. So Eddie Howe asked about Bradford will be a tough test. And Howe said, we're up against tough opponents. They're on a strong winning run and have beaten 2 championship teams to get to this point. And then obviously he was asked about the memorable cup win.
2 championship teams, not Champions
Premier,
League teams.
Yeah, not Premier League teams. No, exactly.
Not Champions League teams.
No, that's that. Yeah, exactly. But what I'm saying is they're up for it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
the experiences we've been through in the competition.
And by the way, they're bringing the full allocation of 5,200 supporters.
Yeah. And I think, like I say, they're gonna have a fun night.
Congratulations, Bradford, on their
support.
On their support.
Isn't it funny though when you look at teams that are doing well, how they can quite comfortably make a massive contribution regarding the fans. All the fans are excited and everything else. They've come through some turmoil, Bradford City, to be fair. And it's nice to see them in the heady heights, if I'm honest with you. So I look forward to doing the commentary tomorrow night and hopefully getting to hear them sing their hearts out for the lads. And hopefully they'll still be singing when they lose at the end of the 90 minutes.
Sing when they're spinning.
Yeah, exactly. That's my phone. Oh, crikey. My phone's like the bat phone at the minute. It's nearly as bad as your phone. The missing X factor, said Eddie Howe. I'm excited about the team we can be. We have certainly got things to learn about each other and formulas to try and generate that we'll know will work. I think the biggest thing is the foundation is solid, but we're just missing that X factor. That, I think, will come. Interesting.
I hope you are right. Foxy's Eddie unbeaten against Bradford. 2 wins and a draw.
And a draw, that's right, yeah.
Thank you, Foxy.
It's up to everybody. So this is what he said. Howe's view on the lack of goals, right? So this is what Eddie Howe says. It's up to everybody to chip in with goals. Historically, we've done that really well. Our defenders have been regular goal scorers, either from set plays or open play. Well, Fabian Shaw, I mean, you can't say defenders. From open play. I mean, Trippier doesn't really get on the score sheet very often. Dan Burn doesn't really get on the score sheet. And neither does Tino
from
or
open
Hall.
Play.
Yeah, exactly. So, again, you have to take everything that Eddie Howe says, and it is a stretch on the actual truth, isn't it? We're looking at sources of goals from everywhere, and we can't be reliant on any one department. The creativity of the team and the midfield and the wide areas have been really strong for us, and our fullbacks have been some of our best attackers in recent seasons, and that has to be the case again.
Attacking, yes, but goal scoring, no.
No, exactly.
And certainly our midfield trio, our predominant midfield trio, J7, Bruno, Tenali, for me, they don't get anywhere near enough goals.
Yeah.
And that's largely because they don't pull the trigger often enough.
No, that's what I said.
You know, when they're on the edge of the box there with a chance to shoot, that they want to shed responsibility and just play a little ball wide and go into the triangles and then the bloody pendulum.
Yeah,
have a shot. You know, if anybody, I don't mind anybody having a shot. Have a shot. It can, you know, even if it gets blocked, it can create havoc. You can get a second ball for another shot, etc., etc., etc. Just have a go, for God's sake. Give us something to shout about.
Absolutely. And I think that is the thing. That's the key element, isn't it? Having something to actually get off your seat. And that's been missing massively over the last few games.
Funnily enough, the one player who actually gave you a bit of a pep was Susung.
Yeah, well, that's what I said, and like I said, he has dropped off.
Excuse me.
And you know, Foxy was saying you've got to allow him to develop. But the trouble is, when you're on that crest of a wave and you're performing really high, and to a degree, I mean, yes, there was no end product yet, but he seemed to be the only player at that time to be wanting to unlock doors, you know, and create. Yeah. And I think sometimes when you take that away from the player, and like I say, you allow him to back off a little bit and protect him a little bit, he can have the negative aspect of potentially what we're seeing now. Obviously, Miley has come out and said that, you know, he enjoyed being part of the setup. His first real performance, I think it was his 50th in was that
team?
I think that was his 50th first team, wasn't it? Appearance.
Yeah.
And it was a solid. It was unspectacular. Reintroduced the Magpies midfield. He didn't catch the eye, but he was one of how certainly improved with it allowing him to keep Joe Linton and Gilmaros on the bench the entire match. Only Tonali outperformed Miley in the Newcastle shirt in terms of past success. 88% to Tonali and 86% to Miley. And the number of accurate passes was 48 versus 43. Again, you know, what I keep saying, sometimes because of names and things like that, we often forget the players around him. I didn't think Miley had a bad game at all. Where Miley does have room for improvement is his involvement in a game. Still just 19, playing alongside the likes of Tonali, who is an experienced international who can dictate play for Newcastle. The youngster will hope to stamp his authority on a game more often. At the Vitality Stadium, he touched the ball 58 times over 90 minutes compared to the Italian 71. For contrast, in the Bournemouth midfield, Tyler Adams had the ball 81 times and Alex Scott had 56, similar to Miley. But he only played 63 minutes compared to Miley. There remains a gulfing experience between Miley and many of the Premier League contemporaries. While he seems to have been in the scene for years, he did, in fact, make his debut as a 16-year-old at the end of 22-23 season. The teenager still only got 1,690 minutes under his belt in league football. Scott, meanwhile, who played more than 2,000 minutes in the Premier League, along with 76 games in the Championship for Bristol City, Adams played 4,687 minutes at Leeds United and Bournemouth. A good comparison is Elliot Anderson, another midfielder who had to bide his time at St James's Park. His career has flourished and regular game time since moving to Nottingham Forest. Still only 22, he's had 4,614 minutes under his belt. When he left Newcastle as a 21-year-old, though, he'd only played 1,422 minutes, less than Miley, who is 3 years younger. So, again, this is my concern.
This is the dilemma you have when you've got a stellar first 11.
Yeah.
You know, they're not going to get it. Listen, if Anderson had stayed at Newcastle, there is no chance he would have been playing for England and starring for England.
No, not a chance in the world.
Because he would not have got the game time.
No.
And the way he plays, as effective as it isn't sufficiently eye-catching for him to have done that for Newcastle and say, oh, right, he's got to stay in, and J7 or Bruno or Tonali are going to miss out.
Yeah.
It would not have happened. So good luck to the kid. We'll go and get him, pay 100 million for him to get him.
Well, I was going to say...
when he's developed.
Absolutely.
And that's the only thing. That was criminal to not have a sell-on clause or a buyback clause in his contract. But as we've discovered since, that was purely because Nottingham knew they had us over a barrel and just said, nah. we'd so desperately needed the money for PSR that we had to do the deal.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to close today's show, if I'm honest with you, and just ask your opinion on a certain thing that came to evidence, if you like, during the Barcelona game. Towards the end of the game, when the announcer made his Tannoy announcement saying thank you to the 52,000 people that attended the game, why was there so many empty seats?
Well, the main reason was because Barcelona had returned 500 tickets or something.
Yeah, but they were all sold.
Yeah, but they're sold in blocks. They have to segregate the whole block. So Barcelona had obviously only out of the one 500 block was sold, resold, returned and resold. But they didn't have exactly whatever it was, 1,500 travelling fans. They must only have had 1,400 and, you know, whatever the difference between 252 or 258 that it is now. We've had that stadium expansion.
We've had the extra 6 seats.
We've got an extra 6 seats from somewhere, I don't know where.
But you see, for me, I think it's more to the fact that it's these third-party selling companies that, you know, Chris did the other day, and I did a previous show.
So they've bought tickets and haven't been able to sell them.
Yeah, it's all bots, and they've said that. I mean, there's been the Trust Support has done a ticket plea. I don't know whether you've read this. Newcastle United supports Trust Open letter plea as ticket concerns grow.
They want transparency.
They want a bit more transparency.
Yeah,
I didn't realise
so.
Because I've inquired, multiple times now about the potential of being put on a season ticket waiting list. And it comes to mindset that Newcastle seem to be the only club in the Premier League, probably in all of the top 5 divisions, that don't have a waiting list for season tickets. And is that because they know that these tickets that they've obviously reclaimed, was it 100 or so many tickets that have been reclaimed because of their
103 season tickets have been cancelled.
Yeah, where have they gone to?
I don't know. Nobody knows, which is what the NUST are,
Yeah, exactly.
asking.
Because like I said, because you can't get on a waiting list, are these just going to be sold to other bots, other third companies? Because they know they're going to get because you think about it, right? Season ticket holders, and this is no discredit to any season ticket holder. You're one. I was one. But what happens when you give your season ticket up, like I did? I mean, obviously that has been, whatever reason. I think now Newcastle lose money when it comes to season ticket holders. They get more money from the flat rate of the ticket if they sell it to a third company They don't care what the
Well,
third
well,
company's
they don't even need to sell it to a third company. I don't think, for example, that Newcastle sell the tickets to intermediaries. For a start, they've come out point blank and said they don't. That they don't use any third parties.
No, but you could see the
officially.
Barca. Yeah, the Barca guy. There was
so
many
it's them
tickets
that are going to be
bots.
selling the tickets. Now, they may get marginally more. I mean, if you buy... I think the last person I know that got an East Stand ticket in the ballot for a league game paid £52. And if you divide, say, my son's season ticket cost by the 19 games that entitles him to, that works out at £49. So they're only on that ticket that's sold to the ballot. That they're only making they are making an extra £3, fair enough. But you know, they would if I'm a businessman, even if I've got a product which is so in demand as a Newcastle seat is currently, I would still rather have the bird in the hand of having had all of that money paid up front in the season ticket with no risk involved at all. You've got the money. You've already got the money.
Yeah.
Than trying to sell them on and all of the work that entails as well. By the way, additional bureaucracy and admin costs.
Yeah, exactly.
You sell a season ticket. That's it. Done. You've got your money. Yeah. And you don't need to worry about anything.
Exactly. But
whereas for every individual ticket, you've got the box office involved, you've got ticketing involved, you've got IT involved, you name it. So from a purely business point of view, unless you are getting twice as much, let's say, or, a significant amount more, it doesn't make any sense. Season tickets are what you want is money in your pocket.
Yeah, but
guaranteed money in your pocket.
But do you though, because of the PSR situation? That's what I'm saying. I mean, Kev Bell here saying selling one season ticket for 1,000 or 19 individual tickets for 150, the club would make double selling them individually.
Yeah, but they don't sell them for 150. That's the point I'm making. They sell them for 55.
Well, we don't know how much they sell them to the third parties for, though, do we?
Well, they say they don't use third parties.
Well, there's bots.
Except for the corporate.
No, exactly. But there is bots that have got the tickets, so they must sell them. That's what I'm saying. They can't. The bots don't sell. Don't get them from nothing. They're obviously going in there and buying them from Newcastle. Now, whether they're vetted where they're coming from,
but they have to be, because for to transfer that ticket. You've got so you're saying it's the bots that have got season tickets.
Well, there's been over 100 bots that have since all of the supporters have come up.
It's a Dundee fiasco.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So they know now that these bots have got tickets. They got them for the Barcelona game, and like I said, there were so many empty seats when there was over 100,000 people in that ballot to try and get seats. That's what annoyed me. 52,000 was mentioned over the tannoy.
It was 50. Let's have a look. Official attendance. I'm sure it was less than 200 short. I mean, I'm saying 200 is nothing.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I'm saying. And they're saying that all of the Barcelona return tickets were sold. That's what was said to the members.
Barcelona crowd.
Carpel's asking who are the bots. These are the third party that are really rinsing supporters. My lovely partner got me a birthday present last season to watch the Spurs game, and it cost her 180 quid for one ticket. They are really rinsing supporters. I would have told her not to if I'd have known anything about it, but I didn't know anything about it. I mean, luckily we won. I'd have been really miffed if she'd have paid 180 quid and we lost.
All right, 52,084.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, there you go. So it's just
84.
under 200,
so they're
200
just
seats.
under 200
Yeah.
empty. Well, like I say, a good number of those would be empty seats in the section, the one section that Barcelona couldn't sell.
Yeah. But that's the same in any match, though, mate. And we've always got 52,200.
That's right.
With the segregation.
If it'll be interesting. Wednesday will be really interesting.
That's what I'm saying, because they've sold their allocation.
Bradford are taking everything, so that should be near as damn it 52,258.
Yeah, should be bang
as
on,
you can get. It'll be interesting to see, won't it?
Yeah,
and if Bradford can outsell Barcelona.
Yeah, absolutely.
There
See if they can outsing them as well. According to The Athletic, this is the last point I'm going to make. Newcastle are now involved in talks with a contract talk with Sven Botman. The Athletic add that the 25-year-old is always frustrated when he is not starting, which has been a regular theme this season. His second start of the season came on Sunday with Botman impressing against Bournemouth. It is not known whether Botman will sign a new deal due to his limited game time. And with Dan Burns,
but his limited game time is largely down to his bloody injuries, isn't it?
Well, I think what they're highlighting is the fact that he's been available, since the start of the season, really. And like I say, but Dan Burns been, like I say, he's been a solid
class.
He's been solid. So at the end of the day, like Eddie Howe said, it's not up to him to drop a player to bring a player in. It's up to a player to perform well to get back into the side. And like I said,
Botman's currently on
112
with his bonus is 112,000 a week.
Yeah.
So it's not coppers that he's
on. It's not coppers on. Yeah, exactly. But again, not all players just want the cash, mate. They want to be involved in the game as well. So, like I say, we've also got the reports on Trabs on Sport.
I mean, bear in mind, you can turn around and say, he's played that well and that consistently that he still hasn't had a call up for Holland.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, but again, you have got some deep-rooted players in that Dutch side, haven't you? That Botman has to play at a high level on a regular basis to get involved in that. Yeah. And again, just to shout, and I'm sure everybody knows this, but Newcastle turned down a $4 million bid for Jamal Lascelles against the move of Trabs on Sport. I can never say that bloody word. Eddie commented, Jamal is an ultimate professional and he is an incredible character, so disciplined and dedicated. He's a really positive, and when out on the pitch, he elevates standards. When you are able to give him an opportunity, he does really well, and that's no surprise to me. He is a vital part of what we are doing here this season. And that's it. On that note, thank you all so much for joining us. Again, this is more of a Bradford City at home for me. I don't know why. But we all have senior moments. Long may that continue. That's it. So it's a goodbye from him.
Anybody who's going to the match tomorrow will be in Bally's as it is now. Used to be Asper's, the sports bar on Stowell Street from about 5 o'clock.
There you go. And me and Chris will be live.
And that's a goodbye from him.
Yeah, all the way through. An hour before kickoff. So come and join us if you're not going to the match and you want to listen to us banter. You guys are on tonight, aren't you? You 9:30 with the panel again. So again, hit the bell if you.
We'll find something to argue about. I'm sure.
I'm sure you will. You loved ones, and we're not far off from 8,000 subscribers. So thank you all so much. And like I say, before you go, if you can, just bang the bell button.
How many are we short of?
I think it's about
see if we can get those this afternoon.
Yeah, 114 subscribers, and we've hit the 8,000.
8K. How 140? We've got nearly 100. Well, a lot of you already be subscribed to.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you very much if you are. But if you're not, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, get to know when we're on, have some fun, come and join us.
Hit the shares, because that's obviously get your friends and everything else involved as well. So thank you all once again for being with us this Tuesday afternoon. Have a lovely rest of the day.
Yeah, I'm off to watch North Sea Hijack.
Exactly. And I'm carrying on with my fish. So here we go.
Right.
Goodbye from
Catch
him.
you later. Goodbye from him. How are you, the lads?
The lassies and bands. Take care all.
Ta-ra.